gentlemen, you are listening to Life Well Lived by Omobola Stephen. It's an engaging and enlightening talk show on life, relationships, and the business of life. Grab a cup of juice and just chill. Life Well Lived by Omobola Stephen. Live life. Live fully.
Hi, welcome to Live Well Lived by Omobola Stephen. Remember, you can catch up missed episodes of all my tag shows on various distribution platforms on Deezer, on Castbox, on iTunes, on Podcast Addict, on SoundCloud, on YouTube, on iTunes Radio Public, on Google Podcast, on Juiceven, on Podchaser, on Castbox, and on others. Hello once again, my name is Omobola Stephen and welcome to Live Well Lived by Omobola Stephen. Until today on my show, I have a guest who is going to be discussing on a topic I titled codependency, self-acceptance and self-approval syndrome, how we can overcome all these negative emotions. And I believe that's very important for us to be able to overcome all these emotions in order for us to have a worthwhile, and a whole meaningful life at the end of the day. And so, Jennifer Lancaster is a life coach. She's also a content creator, a blogger, and service industry to social influencer. What she does is that she teaches women how to become self-approved through coaching practices. So welcome with me on today's talk show, Live Well Lived by Omobola Stephen, Jennifer Lancaster.
Thank you so much for having me. It's an honor and a pleasure to be here today.
It's a pleasure once again. Thank you for coming to the show. So can I just a brief introduction about you?
Sure.
That's right.
So I am a certified life coach, and the core of my practice, like you said, is I work with mainly women, but helping women overcome codependency and really learn to love and approve of themselves. There's 5 pillars to my work. Because I've been in the recovery world and done my own recovery work about codependency for overcoming codependency for 2 decades, that is one pillar of my work. I also help women connect with their creativity, learn how to play and get intimate with their inner child. Calming the nervous system is a pillar, and then learning to call in fun and pleasure. And when you embody all of these things, you find self-approval, love, and the deepest level of intimacy with yourself, and really embody and integrate self-acceptance.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. Thank you for that exposure. So can you just tell me about being a service industry to a social influencer?
Yeah, so I worked in the service industry, meaning the restaurant business, for 29 years. And now I consider myself, I'm a life coach now. So that's the name, service industry to social influencer. It was really the evolution of who I am and what my sole purpose work is. But because I came from the service industry and I have a passion for food, a lot of my teachings, I use metaphors to dining out or food, because I think food is something we can all connect around. It's a tangible way to bring in a lesson with my clients. So it's something that's a big part of how I teach, and I have a lot of fun bringing in the metaphors around dining and experiencing food.
Wow, great. Wow, great. So why do people struggle with this approval-seeking syndrome? Why is it an issue?
I think there's a lot of different answers for that, but I think that, the main one is if someone grew up in a home with any kind of addiction, abuse, dysfunction present, or even if, those things were not present, but healthy communication around feelings were not modeled, it's very easy then for that person to take on codependent characteristics. And I think that most of us have experienced this in one way, shape, or form. I also think I also think that women, we're in this new role of what the woman is. Women are doing work now in the world where before, our ancestors, typically the woman did not work. And the woman's role back then was to really secure a man to provide for her. So I think that women, now we're evolving and women are working, but we still have this belief system that we have to attract certain things into our life. And I think that's where wanting the approval and validation from others has really kind of been passed down in our DNA.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So can low self-esteem be linked to low self-acceptance?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Can you just share a bit of your knowledge?
Well, usually if someone's falling into like codependency, self-esteem is going to be a part of that. And low self-esteem, typically what it comes from is the two main negative emotions, which I think make us wanting other people's approval, which are shame and guilt. And I always say shame and guilt are lovers. If one is present, typically the other one is nearby. So shame is this feeling of I'm wrong, and guilt is this feeling of, I feel bad that I did this. I feel wrong that I did this. So it's like this intertwined negative emotional breakdown, which I think is a big part of low self-esteem. And then what happens when we have low self-esteem? We're looking to others for validation. We're looking for others for approval, because that's how we learn as a survival mechanism to validate ourselves.
Brilliant. Thank you so much for that. So, what solution can you prefer to a client of yours who's living with a man, like you're in a relationship, but happy, with the person that you're with, you're just opting for separation? What do you think is the underlying issue, and what solution can you give that to your client?
So wait, let me make sure I'm understanding you correctly. If someone's in a relationship and they feel like, tell me a little bit more, go a little deeper into this.
Yeah, you're in a relationship and you don't really love the person as much as the other person does. You feel that there's still an emotional, that love blank space is there. You're not emotionally attached to this person. So what advice can you give such a person? Is she's opting for separation or a divorce? Is that the best way out?
So is the person in this example that we're talking about the person who feels attached, or the person who feels like they don't love the person as much?
That's right.
Which person are we referring to?
That's right.
She feels over-attached.
Detached from the relationship. She doesn't really love the man as, so she just felt like it's not what, this is not just what I just want to get out. And so what advice can you give such a person? Is the relationship worth continuing, or she should just step out? Because I believe that you need to be in a relationship that is worthwhile, and give you true happiness and you find joy. And so if you're struggling with finding happiness and joy and fulfillment in a relationship, I think you should have a rethink. But I don't know what's your own view about that.
Yeah, this is such a great question. And I'm going to relate it to food, because it's such an easy thing. If we're going out to eat and we go to a 1-star restaurant, right? It's a decent meal, but it's not a meal that's like knocking our socks off or, really fulfilling us. And I feel the same way, like when we choose relationships, we should choose from a place of knowing that we deserve the white linen tablecloth experience. I want someone that I can be with that co-creates with me, right? That I can collaborate with. It's a mutual value. It's a mutual intimacy. And if I'm not feeling those things, then I'm settling for less than I deserve. So absolutely, I think that when someone finds themselves in a relationship like this, the thing they need to ask themselves is, number one, am I settling? And if I am settling, why am I settling? Why do I believe that this is the only person available to me? Or, have I gotten comfortable? Or were we once intimate, but now we've just become two different people? There's some self-examination that needs to happen, right? And then you can make the decision when you have the insight as to what's really going on underneath.
That's right. That's brilliant. So do you think low self-worth makes people to make the wrong decisions and attract unhealthy relationships? Do you think so?
Absolutely. I think low self-worth can lead people to feeling lonely. And when you're lonely, a lot of times you will attract someone just to fill the void, not necessarily the right person, not necessarily someone that's like an equal to you. There may be like always someone in the situation that feels like a one-up or a push-pull or a power dynamic because you're attracting them to fill something within yourself that you haven't learned to give yourself. So absolutely.
Wise one. It's been lovely, Omobola Stephen, and so I've been hanging around with Jennifer Lancaster. Jennifer Lancaster is a life coach, a content creator, a blogger, and service industry social influencer. She teaches women how to become self-approved and through coaching practices. Thank you once again, Jennifer, for hanging around on this show today. So I wanted to ask you, what advice can you give to someone who looks at the mirror and tells herself, I have never been lucky with relationships?
This is a great question. And I really believe there's a lot to mirror work. There's a lot of esteem and confidence and love that you can build within yourself from mirror work. But I think that the thing to add here is so often we've been told, oh, just look in the mirror and say, I love you. But what can happen is if you do that, but you don't feel that statement's true, what can happen is shame can come up because you'll judge yourself for not doing it correctly. So one of the things, like one of the affirmations that I like to give my clients that are trying to bridge this gap of, I know I need to love myself, but I don't feel it yet, is looking in the mirror and practicing saying, I can't wait to love you the way that you deserve. And when you start with something more neutral like that, just saying that helps you to plant the seeds into the subconscious part of your brain that there is going to be a day when I do believe in loving myself, but it's okay that I don't feel that right now.
Great. Thank you so much for that brilliant explanation. Like, if someone is overly attached to someone, like probably talking about a lady or a man, so you're so overly attached to the person, and to the extent that you find it hard to let go, in spite of all the signs you're reading on the wall, you just find it hard to let go. Can you say codependency issues or struggles is playing out here?
Yeah, that's definitely, I call that love drunk. Like someone's getting drunk off of like the idea of love. And usually that's unhealthy love. There's like obsession or compulsion there. And if you fall into that trap, there's definitely some codependency issues. And the hardest way to break codependency is to try to do it alone. So honestly, my best advice is to find either a coach or a support group, or there's so many Facebook groups now with codependency healing. There's 12-step programs. It's really finding support and accountability. So when you're falling into those patterns where I know I need to break this habit, but doing it by myself, like I'm not able to do it because I'm just not strong enough yet, it's key to have support structures in place.
Oh, I see. Great. Brilliant. Thank you so much. So, do you have any projects that you're working on presently?
I do. So I'm always attracting new clients into my practice to work one-on-one, but I do have a beautiful course that I'm so excited about. It's launching on December 29th and it goes for 5 days. It's called Rebirth. And the whole basis of it is rebirthing the woman that you really want to embody and the energy that you want to show up as in 2021. And the cool thing about this program is it starts in 2020, and like the first day, the focus is going to be burn it down to the ground to turn it around.
That's
right.
That's
so we're just going to release all this stuff. It starts on a new moon. I always bring astrology into my programs. Then we're going to move into the wheel of life and embodying like the different areas of your life where you can recognize maybe unhealthy patterning, right? I love using the wheel of life into my programs. And then on New Year's Eve, it's going to be a live meditation. I always run my groups through a closed Facebook group. It's going to be a live meditation led by a dear friend of mine who teaches yoga and breath work and meditation. Right from 11:45 to 12:15. I call it the birth of the diva, divifying your life, like really connecting to that divine feminine energy. And then moving into the new year, we're going to set the year up with the tone, the energy, visualization exercises, journal prompts that women can leave and actually implement and integrate all year round into their year. It's a rebirth of the embodiment of the divine feminine, beautiful, nurturing, healing, loving energy.
Great. That's so great. So I wish you best of luck in your project.
Thank you.
Yeah. So do you have any parting word?
Do I have any what? Parting words?
Parting word or last word?
I just feel like so often women, we deserve to love ourselves. And so often we're so looking for that next thing, whether it's like the exercise program that's going to make us look better. Like you can love yourself without looking perfect. You can love yourself, without the ideal relationship. You can have that kind of love regardless of if the amount of dollars in your bank account or how many friends you have or how many likes you have on your post. And I just think as women, we can never hear that enough. Like one more time is always a good thing. So I just encourage you, if you're a woman, to know that it is possible to learn to love yourself. I used to live in self-loathing and I do not live there anymore. It is possible and you do deserve it.
Absolutely. We do deserve, that self-love. Yeah. I once said that change is necessary, but it takes time for you to be able to move from the past to the present to a new life. But you have to give change a chance for you to be able to achieve what is need to be achieved in life. So I think that you just have to start. There's nothing like, I'm hoping. You just have to take action. So that's the issue we are facing in life. We fail to take action. That's why we're not seeing results. Once you take action, the results are
absolutely.
Yeah, thank you so much once again, Jennifer Lancaster, for coming on Live Well with Omobola Stephen. I hope that some other time we can do this again.
I would love that. Thank you so much for having me.
It's a pleasure. I wish you all the best in your future endeavors.
Thank you. And I wish you all the best as well.
Thank you so much once again. It's been Live Well with Omobola Stephen, and thank you. Stay safe always. It's bye for now. And remember, live life, live fully. Bye for now.
A million people in the crowd, but I only see your face in all the lights. And as the bass keep pounding on me, baby, I really wanna make you mine. I don't really care about love. I don't really care about happy ever afters. Something about you gives me hope.